So we're back here a month later with our last minute predictions of Attack on Titan chapter 126. Now you may ask why we've done a wonderful, glorious PowerPoint presentation for this month's edition of this video. That's because if you check on the channel and you sort by most popular, you'd usually find these last minute prediction videos, because a bunch of you idiots are just trying to figure out what the fuck's going on with this chapter, and over the next coming days you're going to want to know anything about this, and you're going to accidentally click on this video before realizing it's not what you want. And so usually these videos get really popular. So if you saw it most popular on my channel, it was usually all the last minute prediction videos and some Vinland Saga chapter reviews. But they are no longer there. I had to delete those from my channel because the copyright police started coming after me because I showed the chapters in those videos. So fuck the copyright police. I got a strike on my channel for one of the videos, and then I deleted and privated all the other ones. Also, the reviews that I used to do, they're all gone as well. Those are privated. I accidentally deleted all the last minute prediction videos quickly because I got nervous. Because these videos don't take much effort, and I'm not really going to miss them. They're completely irrelevant after like 3 days, so it's fine for them to be deleted. So here, I made a beautiful PowerPoint presentation as an alternative. So I hope you're all fucking excited. So let's get into this chapter. We'll go through what happened last time. Last time, the big story was Annie is back. So Annie is back now. What are we going on here? We got some pictures here of what happened in the Annie storyline last month. Annie and Hitch are on their way to the battlefield. It's possible we don't see them this chapter, though I think we all want more Annie. And especially we want to see her in action. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So we've got some questions among this plotline. What is Hitch's purpose in the narrative at the battlefield? Which side will Annie take? What's going to happen when her and Armin reunite? The riots back in the internment camps. So last time we got Annie back. She was out of the crystal. She interacted with Hitch, and that's it. And they're heading to the battlefield, like I said here. I want to see that Titanic ass, Minty says in the wonderful chat that you can come and join by clicking the link in the description below to the Twitch channel. We're 2 followers away from 50 at the time of recording. That means we got to get affiliate. Wait, is that ad-friendly? We're not trying to be ad-friendly. I don't have 1,000 subscribers. We're just trying to avoid the copyright police. I can't have ads on my videos unless someone claims it. But back to the matter at hand. So Annie is coming back. She was in a weakened state last chapter, but she seems to be doing fine afterwards. I think she's regaining strength slowly as she comes back into consciousness. She's seen the destruction. We also found out that she was broken out before in speech, so she did hear it. So the main questions are regarding her is which side will she take when she gets there? I'm pretty certain that it's going to be everyone versus Eren, so I think she'll take the not Eren side, even though I had speculated like months ago that she was secretly in on Eren's plan with some time travel bullshit, but that seems to not be happening at this point. That was probably a stupid theory. But mainly, Hitch is also going to the battlefield, which would make Hitch fans nervous. So what purpose does Hitch have in ending up at the battlefield? The purpose probably is to die. I'm not sure what else she could possibly do there. It's not like she's going to reunite with anyone else. Like, she doesn't really have any, like, she hasn't been, separated from any characters that she cares about or has history with for a prolonged period of time. She can just be another foot on the ground, but I think killing her off would probably get a reaction out of the audience at this point. She's just going to hit by rubble and die like Marlowe. That is always a possibility. She could come face to face with Zeke, which is interesting that we'll get into this later, because I do think Zeke is going to get some major redemption before he dies eventually at the end of the series. I've been very, consistent in my belief that the 3 main deaths towards the end of the series are going to be Reiner, Zeke, and Eren. I think they're all going to die before this all ends, so there. Yes, Zeke character arc, please, is what Minty's asking for in chat. Never been much of a Zeke fan, but I think that's where we're going. What other things? We've always got the Armin question. Annie and Armin are going to reunite. They're going to get together unless one of them dies. It's pretty obvious at this point. I don't really care. I like Annie a lot. She's one of my favorite characters, obviously. I made that apparent, and I do not like Armin at all. So him ending up with her is not my favorite thing, but obviously it makes narrative sense. They've been teasing it from the beginning. And if it's not Eren, it's going to be Armin, because Annie really doesn't have history with any other male character besides maybe Bertolt, and he's fucking dead. So there you go. Also, an interesting little detail that I think surprised me last chapter was the riots that Annie's father leads in Mali. So the Eldians across the world saw what Eren did. They saw his speech or whatever. They heard it, rather. I guess they saw it too. to. And now they're pissed off and they're going to fucking rebel. So it's going to be like massive riots throughout the world. So maybe the world will get like destroyed before the Titans even make it. And maybe Isayama's making a thematic point that way. It does sort of fit with the Devilman thing, right? The fact that the Titans are coming or whatever, or the Devils were coming. The Devils and the Titans aren't actually what destroys humanity. Humanity's fear of what's coming destroys humanity. Though these fears are more founded, I guess, than the Devils and Devilman. I've been very vocal on the Devilman comparisons. You can watch my older videos about that and how I think that probably will end up factoring into the into the ending. Truth is in chat and asking why I don't like Armin. And Minty says, well, Titans are humanity. They used to be humanity. Well, that's the same thing about Devils and Devilman. It sort of doesn't go on to the point. Go watch the tier list video, explains it there. I don't like Armin. He's sort of a wimp. I never really liked him. I don't think he's interesting as a character. I don't know. When I just think of him, he annoys me, generally. I don't think he's a poorly written character, though maybe I do. It's just generally annoyed. I'm generally annoyed by this type of character. He's very much a character archetype that I don't like. And a bunch of things like that. But yeah, the tier list video probably does have a better explanation about that. Though we'll talk about Armin more later on. So we'll talk about it then. So Annie's back. What now? Is basically what that's all about. So we'll move on here. Gabi and Armin heading after Connie and Falco. So let me read my little write-up here. Gabi and Armin have to team up to get Falco back before Connie tries to feed him to his mother. Armin wants to gain Gabi's trust through this mission while also saving his friend from doing something he'll regret. Something immoral, rather. And question from this plotline, will Connie get redeemed or will he die? What will Falco and Gabi do when they reunite? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. What will eventuate of Connie's mother? So, I think I should just bring Zeke up now. A theory I've had that I've sort of been talking about on stream more so than in videos is that I think Zeke is going to have a redemptive character arc. There is a whole slide about Zeke later on. But I think his ultimate, like, how he dies is he's going to feed himself to Connie's mother. I think because he originally turned Rokugo Village or whatever into Titans, and I feel like it'll be him, like, giving back after, like, he saved the world or whatever, everyone ganged up and beat Eren or whatever, and it's sort of the resolution at the end here, and Zeke feeds himself to Connie's mother is sort of the ultimate, like, redemptive act of him. He does something nice for Connie, and he gives back to the people he, like, fucked with along the way to achieve his goals, now that his goal's been achieved, and the greater good has won out, or whatever the fuck. Minty says, Armin will be like, hey, Gabi, you remind me of someone, you look similar to someone, similar to the younger version of someone I used to... Maybe. I don't know if they'll be that blatant, but that is possible. Where they could make Armin finally explain the Gabi Eren parallel to the people who somehow haven't figured it out yet. But yeah, so that's sort of where I think that'll happen. So I did originally think that Connie was maybe going to die in some brutal way, and it'll be like we have to kill one of our friends because he's gone off the deep end just like Eren. Because this is obviously a very immoral act, luring a 14-year-old boy who's unknowing and unwilling into feeding him to your mother so she can come back to life. It's like, why should he die for your mother? There's no equivalent exchange here. See, I'm into Full Metal Alchemist now. It's not like a morally virtuous thing to do. So I think it'll either be stopped or Connie will be punished by the narrative, and if Connie gets punished by the narrative, it'll be him getting killed off, I think. But I'm leaning more towards Armin and Gabi convince him to not do it. He has like a breakdown and he turns his anger towards Eren. And eventually Connie will get redemption. He'll get thanked by the narrative. He'll get rewarded by the narrative for not feeding Falco to his mother, by Zeke ending up feeding himself to his mother, and eventually he'll get his mother back and he'll save the world and he won't have to sacrifice Falco and sort of do this unredeemable act here. I don't think Falco's going to die. I think Gabi's probably going to ride Falco. Oh, that's a poor choice of words. Be sensible, chat. She's probably going to be on top of Falco. Well, whatever. Falco's going to help her get to Eren, and she's going to shoot him or whatever the fuck to end it or something. I'm sure Minty will be all over me in chat. Well, that being said, I think that's the end of this point. I don't see Falco dying at all. Connie is a maybe. Connie's always been a maybe. I remember when I did my predicting the ending of Attack on Titan video, Connie was like the only maybe that I didn't have a stance on whether or not they were going to die or not. It was very much up in the air. Minty says, I could see Zeke being fed to his mother because Connie's mother, Falco, and Colt have all been wronged by Zeke. Yep. I think Zeke will be fed to Levi. This is another possibility. Levi gets healed, Zeke gets redeemed, and he can have a Goku Gohan moment through Levi when they kill Eren, fulfilling Grisha's wish to stop him. We'll get into Grisha's wish to stop him later on. Why would Levi eat someone that isn't even a Titan right now? Well, he could turn or whatever. That's irrelevant. There's also still a big question mark on whether or not Ackermans can become Titans, which hasn't really been confirmed or denied. I feel like Leo coming back as a Titan will anger people. No, the idea is, and I think that's true, but the idea is that Levi would become a Titan, would become the Beast Titan just to heal himself, and he wouldn't actually use it. And it'd sort of be a thematic point that Levi is a Titan, but he never uses his Titan form because he's stronger as a human than he ever could be as a Titan. I think people would largely agree with that, and sort of the fact that it's sort of a statement by him that he could turn into a Titan right now, but he just isn't going to. It'd sort of just be a way to heal him because he's missing a hand or something, and he can't really fight without a hand. But we still don't know the severity of Levi's injuries and what his character arc will be, and we'll get to that because I have a whole slide about that. I feel like Levi, yeah, alright, I read that one. So yeah, I think ultimately Gabi and Armin sort of bond on this journey. I think this will probably be the main storyline of the next chapter. I think we'll probably get a resolution to this more than anything, because Isama in the last chapter set up 2 mini storylines to sort of hold us over for a few chapters before we get back to the main Eren stuff. They set up this one and this next one with Jean and Mikasa against Flock, that I think will sort of be the focus of the next 2 chapters probably, which is interesting because I feel like we got a lot of other shit to do. Obviously each other storyline will be like progressed slowly, and I think there has to be like an ending stinger, as there has been for a bunch of the last ones. Like Annie came back in the previous chapter, and then Levi came back at the end of the last chapter. It's a whole thing. I think Hanji and McGarth's storyline will be resolved first and peak. I feel like they might cut away from that for a little while, but yes. We'll probably get scenes with everybody, but the main ones. We'll get to that. Alright, so we may as well move on. Mikasa and Jean have to deal with Flock is the next storyline that we'll go over here. Fuck, my throat's getting sore. Long fucking day. So, Gabi and Armin have to team up. Gabi and Armin. What? I didn't actually change it. I just copy and pasted it. I did change the questions. Fuck this up. I can explain it right now. Shitty PowerPoint. I did this in like 10 minutes. It's the end of the volume, so yeah, something big's got to happen. Not necessarily we've had volume enders that weren't that significant, but I think every chapter will have something pretty major, just because we're about to end. So I didn't change this, but basically Flock has like captured all the Jaegerists. Well, not all the Jaegerists, all the Zeke people, all the volunteers. He's put them in jail, and he's trying to get John and Mikasa to team with him. People are saying John picked up rocks. I don't know if that's necessarily true. There were rocks behind him in another panel, but that could just be an inconsistency. We'll have to see what happens here. I don't think him attacking Flock with a rock is the best thing to get this done. We got like 8 chapters left, so times are wasting. Yeah. I think we got, what are we on? I think we got like 4 or 5 chapters left, because I've always been the 130 boy, but we'll see. Seems like a lot to wrap up in that short of a time, though the Attack on Titan chapters are very dense. So, questions with the plotline. Will Mikasa finally acting contrary to Eren's interests? Question mark. Are we getting Jean x Mikasa, which seems pretty apparent? What's Yelena going to? Does Flock die now or later? I feel like this will be Flock's death. I think this storyline will be it. I think Jean will have to do it. Jean had that storyline in the Uprising arc about struggling with killing other people. And I feel like Flock will be sort of the ultimate conclusion of that sort of character arc. Reddit went crazy over the rocks. Of course they did. The rocks were probably drawn by assistants, so mistakes are probable. I think Flock will be the main antagonist for the next few chapters as a stepping stone to defeating Eren. Yes. I feel like this is almost the biggest confirmation we could ever get that Jean and Mikasa are going to end up together. I know the people on Twitter don't like this, and I get in big fights over this every time a new chapter comes out, and I mention this. But But I think it's like the fact that these two are being left together to solve a problem in Flock, where Mikasa will finally have to act in contrary to Aaron's interests by taking out his biggest follower and supporter here. Not that Aaron necessarily gives a fuck about Flock, but the fact that she will act against one of his, like the sort of the new Mikasa, the one that's absolutely devoted to Eren in all ways, even when it's irrational and immoral. And she'll sort of, the juxtaposition here between him and the old her, and sort of how that says things about her, I think that'll be a big thing, and she'll sort of overcome them with Jean, and they'll bond over that, and there we go. Jean x Mikasa is made, because Eren's going to be dead by the end of the series, and Mikasa and Jean probably aren't, so they'll end up together. I think that's probably the way we're headed here. We dropped down to 3 viewers when I started talking about this, so that shows us what's going on here. I think I read that one. I've always thought Jean and Mikasa were the most likely ending for both of them, or Jean will go to Hiruzu to fulfill his yellow fever. Yes, maybe. I feel like I could see both of them going there anyway, especially since Mikasa's not going to have like Eren to stick around with. I talked about that a million times before, with them leaving on the plane and Armin and Annie watching from the dock or whatever. That's always an idea I've had. When are we going to see Eren again? I don't think he'll be there next chapter. That's a whole panel of our fucking PowerPoint. We'll get to that. So I think we talked about everything here. They will get rid of Flock. There'll be something with the Jaegerists. I think Yelena will probably also have like sort of a redemptive thing here. I think she could probably die, sacrificing herself just like Zeke will eventually. But yeah, I think that's all we got to talk about with this one. How about that Levi guy? Levi is alive, and Hanji is now in communication with Pieck and Magath. This is going to be very important. The questions with this plotline. What state is Levi in? What's Hanji's plan? What are Pieck and Magath going to do? Hanji and Magath are basically the leaders of Paradise and Marley. Could they end the conflict right now by uniting against Eren? I think this is we're starting to see the motions, the wheels be set in motion for the end game here. I very much think Magath and Hanji are going to make some sort of deal, probably off screen, that we'll find out about in the final chapter or whatever, because Magath is fully in control of Marley. I feel like people don't understand this and have completely forgotten this. Magath is literally the dictator of Marley at this point. He holds all the power. Willie Tybur basically explained to us that he was actually the one with all the power, and he then gave it to Magath. So Magath can do whatever the fuck he wants with Marley and its entire military. All we have to do to save this conflict is convince Magath, and Hanji is in the perfect position now, because Magath and Pieck have always been very understandable, likable characters that we haven't hated. And I think them being the vessel for the ultimate message of peace or whatever is going to be very, very important here. I think Pieck and Magath and Hanji will facilitate this sort of ending of the conflict and uniting against Eren. I missed some chat, so when are we going to see Eren again? I read that one. I kind of want Flock to be redeemed. His character is the embodiment of the radicalized nationalist, and I would like to think he can come back from that. Maybe. I don't think so, though. I always thought that it would be Jean against Flock and Mikasa against Louise, but maybe Louise will be there later after Flock is defeated. I think Louise will end up being on the same side or whatever, on the good side. I don't think she's done anything irredeemable like Flock has when he was literally burning down buildings in Mali for no reason. Oops, next topic. Minty says, a lot of people don't realize how important Magath is. Yes, I feel like people completely forgot about Willie Tybur and everything important that he embodied back in the Marley arc. Go and reread that. It's insane. But yeah, I don't know. That's sort of, I feel like that's the purpose of this, and I feel like Levi is incidental to this particular plot line, and either maybe he'll somehow convince Magath and it'll sort of be Levi's words were more powerful than him ever fighting or something like that. I don't know. Is he going to fight again? I feel like that would make everything that happened in that second Zeke and Levi fight pointless. Zeke was fine afterwards and Levi was fine afterwards, both by plot conveniences. I don't know. I really don't know. Levi is a big question mark here, and I have no idea what's going to happen. I know what Magath and Pieck and Hanji are going to do here, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they're going to bond and unite against Eren, but I don't know how Levi factors into this, and whether or not he ever fights again, or he has the Jaime Lannister storyline we've been talking about for years. I don't know. I kind of want Levi to die after 114, but oh well. Well, that ship has sailed. He's obviously got another purpose here. They make a deal for Levi to give his Ackerman sperm to all the aliens to make them super soldiers. Maybe. They'd also all be very short then. But it's not. It's done Levi well. Will we get anything from Eren is the next slide. We haven't seen Eren since the reveal of his new monstrous Titan form. We haven't gotten a single internal monologue from Eren that wasn't about fighting since the ocean. We literally know nothing about what this prick is thinking. Will we see him next chapter? Will we finally get an explanation from Eren's side that we have wanted since the time skip? ? What's his motivation? How will everything end for him? What's going on with Eren? I don't think we'll see Eren again until we finally confront him. And I feel like they'll beat him and then we'll get the explanation. I don't know, maybe Isayama just puts everything on hold and makes next chapter the Eren explanation chapter. That would be insane. I just don't know. I don't know how any of this fucking works at this point. Levi has to do something important, of course. He wouldn't have been kept alive otherwise. Well, we go into his inner thoughts a couple of times, but it was during fights, just like I said. They did it twice when he's fighting. I think her name's Emma Tiber. I think that was somehow confirmed somewhere, or maybe I just saw that on Reddit or some bullshit. But the Warhammer Titan, Willie Tiber's sister, right? I think her name is Emma. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if I'm sure yet. But yeah, when he was fighting her, he has an internal monologue about the Jaw Titan. That's literally just exposition so the audience gets that he's about to crack her with fucking Porco's goddamn jaw. And then the other one is when he questions like why Martley would show up when Reiner shows up and everything after Pieck. And Porco pull off the move and get Gabi out of danger and shit like that. He has like they're both exposition, they both show no insight into his thought process or what he's thinking or his motivation or anything interesting. It's literally just so the audience gets it because the audience is stupid. Emma is a fan name, okay. Some people call her Clitoris-chan because Willie is her brother. I understand. Very clever. But where is the clitoris? Do you think Eren has an ulterior plan a la Code Geass, or is he truly committed to the rumblings? I said the Itachi ending a bunch, which I think is the Code Geass ending. I don't know anything at this point. I feel like the Itachi ending is a possibility. I don't know. It depends if they want to go all the way and make him like fully become like this evil, like irredeemable fuck, or like or if they want to have him be like, oh, he was actually the good guy the entire time and he just couldn't explain it to us because he had to set certain things in motion because he was so complex and fucking whatever the fuck, and he's so in his head he didn't know what the fuck was going on. Speaking of Porco, do you think he died earlier than he should have? No, he died at the perfect time, probably. I feel like he either has an alternative plan or the twist is going to be we thought he had an alternative plan, but he really just wants to kill everyone. That's what I tried to say in the old Jaeger Master Plan video. I tried to say that his ultimate goal was going to be euthanasia because everyone expects it to not be euthanasia. The spirit of what I was saying there actually turned out to be true. My whole point was Eren actually is the bad guy and doesn't have like this secret virtuous plan. That sort of played out in the rumbling. But yeah, euthanasia was not the plan. But yeah, I think both those options are simple enough. I feel like Isayama, like this has to be the biggest twist, right? He's had so many great twists up until this point. He has to be saving the best for last, right? And I feel like, is Historia next? No. Well, it has to have something to do with Historia. When I was making the PowerPoint, I almost convinced myself that the rape theory was right. I don't know why. I feel like I fell into like a thing where, because I remember saying that also in my Jaeger Master Plan video, that maybe like Eren had raped Historia and that's why she was so depressed and stuff, and she had to keep it a secret because for a myriad of reasons or whatever, and something like that. But whatever. And and some people didn't get it, Lamau. Yeah, whatever. After 1, 2, 3, they were like Eren was on our side the entire time. There were people that were saying that. I remember that. Dude, people were in denial about Eren being the villain up until chapter 1, 23, lol. Even now, they still think he's a hero. Well, I still think there is a possibility that he is still the hero, and he's just had to do all these bad things to save the world because he's seen the future or whatever. Literally the Itachi meme. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that happens moving forward. Next one. I think there's 2 left. Yeah, there's 2 left. Is Zeke alive? The answer is obviously yes, but it sounds dramatic that way. The last time we saw Zeke, he was in this reality. He was in pieces after Magath fucked him. Questions with this plotline. Is Zeke alive? What state is he in? I assume he is alive. So what does he do now? Grisha gave him orders to stop Eren, so is he going to join everyone against Eren? Is he going to factor into the Connie storyline and get the ultimate redemption of his story arc? I think we've already gone over everything I wanted to say here. I feel like he's going to have redemption. He has to fulfill what his father wanted because he had that touching moment with Grisha here where they finally bonded and he finally got over his daddy issues and everything like that. Hold on. Minty's saying stuff in chat. But if he's the hero, it's because he had an alternative plan. Yeah. I don't think they factor that in. But the fact that he's killed Paradisians with the Rumble is important. Yep, I pointed that out last time. I know that you don't like Zeke, but I feel like Zeke has so much potential thematically, and I hope it's utilized. I think so too. I think I would like Zeke if he goes in this direction. I've never really sympathized with Zeke up until this point, but him having this ultimate redemption where he tries to stop Eren, he helps everyone out, he ends up fighting alongside Marley again, and alongside the Paradisians against Eren would make him redemptive, as well as the cool little thing with Connie's mother. If that ends up happening, I think that would very much endear Zeke to everyone that doesn't like him already. Like, he's prime counterpart to Eren, but Isayama prefers Reiner, so oh well. I don't think he's the prime counterpart. I feel like everyone's, like, is Gabi the prime counterpart? I think even more than Reiner, probably yes. But, like, everyone is literally, like, juxtaposed against Eren. Armin is, I guess Mikasa sort of is, like, Jean was for a long time. Like, everyone gets compared to Eren, he's the main character. Everyone's like a foil to Eren. It's like how in Naruto everyone was just a repeat of Gaara after a while. Or I guess even Gaara was a repeat of Haku, where it was just like, oh, he's just like Naruto, but he went down this path or whatever. That's sort of like Eren, but in sort of the reverse, where it's a whole thing. We're not getting into a Naruto comparison. I said everything I wanted to say about Zeke. And then finally, I feel like either this... I feel like it has to be this. It can't wait any longer. Will Historia finally come back? I think this has to be the stinger. Either the baby is born and we cut to that, or she shows up or something. Something has to happen with this goddamn girl. Jesus Christ, she was such a great character for so long and she's done nothing since the Uprising arc. Like, there has to be some sort of plan here. She doesn't look that depressed, zoomed in like this, but I'm pretty sure... is supposed to be portrayed that way. Everyone is a counter to genocide. And except Flock, he's not really a counter. And I guess all the Jaegerists. We still have to have some explanation about this prick. We haven't seen anything from Historia in years. All we know is she's pregnant and very depressed. Questions from this plotline: why is she depressed? Who is the father? What's her reaction to everything? She must have also seen the Eren transdimensional speech. Who is the father? I feel like he's left it for so long. It can't be Eren now, right? I feel like there has to be some big fucking twist here. Has anything ever been predictable in Attack on Titan? I don't remember. There has to be something that was predictable. But, like, he must know that we all immediately assumed it was Eren, and all the fanboys would have assumed it even if there wasn't any evidence. Like... there has to be some sort of twist with this fucking baby. Like, the baby's name is going to be Ymir. It's not going to be a reincarnation of the little girl Ymir, but it is going to be named after her friend, which the narrative is set up well. So that it's not some, like, big spiritual, like massive thing, like prophecy she's going to fulfill by giving birth to a baby called Ymir 2,000 years later or whatever the fuck. It's just because she had a friend that she loved, well, I guess her girlfriend, called Ymir, and she's going to name the baby after her. And it'll probably have black hair because it's Eren's, unless it's not. So I like that that's going to be like a thing where it's like, oh, it's like 2,000 years later, it's supposed to be this big prophecy, but he's like, no, it's just because she had a friend called Ymir and she wanted to name the child after it. I think that's a great little subversion of like prophecy as sort of like a narrative device and as a concept. But I'm missing some chats here. Fuck, I'm missing a shit ton of chats. I like the implication of him saying you need to get better care of your body with her being depressed, and I hope it isn't just being a dramatic and isn't just being dramatic for a cliffhanger. That's possible. Yeah, I do like that line as well. He's sort of the caretaker, even if he isn't the father. I remember like advocating for him to actually be the father. I did that in the Jägermeister plan video where I said she took control herself and decided on a father, but I don't know. It sounds bad that I'm saying I like it, but it's just I think it's interesting, and I'm tired of hearing the Historia and Eren are in love and they will raise it together. Yeah, the rape possibility. It is definitely interesting. Like that's it. They can't defend Eren anymore. I'm sure there will be some, but like, if they were to implicate a rape storyline. The only thing is, Attack on Titan has been so asexual up until this point, and like, every show like this is fucking teases rape out the ass. In every fucking berserk goddamn scene, someone's in threat of being raped, and it's so frustrating. And Attack on Titan avoiding that completely has been pretty refreshing, but I don't know. I don't think the rape storyline is very likely, but I think it is a possibility, I guess. Dude, I'm calling it now. She's pregnant. She got a basketball under there. No way Eren smashed that meat hole. Maybe it is just a basketball. They invented basketball. That's the final plot twist. The plot is usually unpredictable, but character arcs or some revelations have been predicted. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I find it weird that Ymir will be reincarnated somehow and she'll be reborn, like she'll have different memories and won't have Titan powers. So that's exactly, will be like Ymir effects. Yeah, I hate this reincarnation theory. It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. I wanted it to be named Ymir since before the theory of it being reincarnated. Yes, Minty, I agree. Loki, everyone is still a virgin in Attack on Titan, lol. I do wonder about this. King Fritz, they were 15 and they were in a boarding camp where they were right next to each other, and you're telling me not one kid dropped out from getting pregnant. Fuck me. Some girl got pregnant at my high school. We didn't even board there. King Fritz did rape Ymir, and there are Historia parallels in chapter 122. That's a fantastic point. Though it is rape, but it's not like violent rape. What Ymir, what the king did. I'm pretty sure Ymir just let it happen. She wasn't enthusiastic about it, so it is rape. But it's like, it's different to what I am assuming the rape. I feel like the rape possibility is Eren thinks this is what's best for Historia, and Historia didn't have time to process it, and he just forced himself on her. So it'd be very different. Isayama is scared of the sex. Isayama is married, so I'm pretty sure even if he was waiting for married, he's not a virgin. So I don't think that's played out anyway. I figured it would be the same for Historia, maybe. Maybe she would have just let it. If Historia is gay, which she is at least bi, because we know Isayama did say that her and Ymir were a legitimate couple, a legitimate couple. She'd have to be bi to even be into Eren. I think it'd be interesting if she was just lesbian and she just did it from practicality. That'd be an interesting turning point. But I don't think we're going to get, even if it is a rape scene, I don't think we're getting any explicit details. Well, it would be the same for Historia because she knows she has to be pregnant, yes, but doesn't really want it. Isayama said gay rights. He did. Wasn't Marco also confirmed to be a gay character? I remember reading that somewhere. I've never seen read an interview where Isayama said that. I've just heard people say that Isayama said that, which is interesting. But that's it. That's all I got. I don't know. Did we miss anything? The Historia stuff is, I feel like, the most interesting to me. I don't know. I feel like the Annie stuff almost disappointed last time. I think until the conversation was a little boring, I feel like. I don't know. I feel like Annie should be more interesting than this, than just, like, legitimately she just wants to get back to her father. I feel like there should be some anger there or something. I think it'll get more interesting when she's around characters that she can actually play off of. Like, if she has a conversation with Eren, or when she reunites with Armin, or, like, a stare down with Annie or something, I think she'll get more interesting. Like, Hitch really doesn't know Annie at all, and Annie really doesn't... Well, I guess she knows Hitch because she was listening all those times, but, yeah. I remember you said that about Marco in his tier list, but I figured Marco just had no friends. Can we talk about the anime conference for season 4 in March? The anime, whatever, who cares? That's what I got to say about that. I don't know. I don't think the anime is all that great, and I don't think another studio would be that detrimental to it. I would never advocate for someone to watch Attack on Titan over reading Attack on Titan, and I don't think that would change, even if season 4 was the greatest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And we still haven't got it confirmed that Wit isn't doing it. I really just don't care at all about anything relating to the Attack on Titan anime. I'll watch it, but I don't really care. What do you expect them to reveal? I just know that it's happening. I don't have any details on anything. I heard that the Naruto studio might be the ones doing it. We got 11 viewers. Holy fuck. I'm 2 followers away from goddamn affiliate. Please. Just let me sit at the bottom of your goddamn followers list or whatever. I need 2 more. 2 more. Something funny happens when you follow. You get told to fuck off by Revy. It's cool. I thought the anime would be more significant because the end of season 1 all tied together so well. Annie goes into a crystal and Eren, as Eren saying he'll destroy the world, which is interesting. He does say that. And also it's close to when the first World Titan is shown. Yeah. What's wrong with the anime? We can talk about this in a second. I gotta read a bunch of things. Season 3 part 1 is what's wrong. True, but that's not it. Season 3 part 2 was god tier though. Season 3 part 2 was probably the best the anime has been. It was really great, and it did really flow really well with sort of how quickly it was done and things like that. Season 3 part 1 was good but bad. It sort of overcorrected some issues from the manga. We'll talk about it more when I catch up with the comments. A lot of people don't like to read, so I mean, yeah, that's the whole thing. God tier how? I think it was pretty great. I think the season 3 part 2 thing was pretty great. They adopted the manga fairly accurately. Everything's been fairly accurate with Attack on Titan. It's not like Vinland Saga levels of bad. And part 1 was fine. People blew that shit up. I guess. Or you just don't find it important. The anime, Attack on Titan does so well in having intermediary chapters between arcs. Like, I didn't really think about this too much until I reread the season 2 portion of the manga, and sort of there's like a whole chapter they cut out. After, like, when they get, there's like a whole chapter after Eren uses a coordinate where they take a break at the walls one last time. There's like a great Historia, like Ymir scene where she's freaking the fuck out and like hating on Eren or whatever the fuck and wants to go back for Ymir and shit. She's like crying and shit. That completely got cut for the anime because the anime had to stop because they had to end season 2. So like all this intermediary stuff got cut out because they had to do like a resolution and then they had to tease the Beast Titan thing. This terrible CGI in a bunch of the anime. I hate anime, how it's like the dialogue is made a million times worse in anime form. The stupid thing with Eren at the end of season 1 with the fire and stuff is dumb. It really comes down to like the cut things in season 3 part 1, which is absolutely unforgivable, especially the Levi punch with Historia at the end. Like, they completely butchered like the penultimate, not even the penultimate, the ultimate moment of that arc. There's a bunch of stuff wrong with the anime. Hold on. Season 3 part 2 looked plain. That's just not true. Looked plain blue. I don't know what would you say in blue. I still want to know why Wit wants to leave when AOT makes them a shit ton of money. Well, it probably doesn't. Just because Attack on Titan makes a shit ton of money doesn't mean Wit's getting much of that money. They're hired from the publishing company and things like that. The anime industry doesn't work like you assume it does. It makes them money. It doesn't make them money. What do you want about Minty saying that? Well, it doesn't. It does make them money. It like bolsters their portfolio and things like that. No, they don't own it, so they don't make the money. They do make some money. It's not that simple. Also, they're pushed to make these deadlines. Wit basically has no say. Like, the people that actually work on the anime have no say on whether they continue or don't continue. It's not like their decision to make. It's where the money lines. And if someone is offering to do it cheaper than Wit, then a company's probably going to say yes to that. Yeah, Chapter 51 has so much good stuff that is cut. Well, never mind. Okay, it's the most popular anime they have, so I assume never mind. Yeah, that's what most people assume. It does make them a lot of money. I'm pretty sure Wit is like one of the biggest companies, like with the most staffers and shit like that. Saying it doesn't make them money is not fair to say. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I read that one. I mean, it has some missteps, but compared to so many other botched adaptation, AOT has great music, great acting, great animation. I do not agree at all with the acting. It does have great music and great animation. I feel like the manga does not lend itself well to animation. I just don't. Generally, I don't like adaptations on principle. I don't think manga should be adapted into anime ever. Coming from someone who thinks Black Lagoon is the best anime ever. But yeah, this I don't know. There's so much to go into here. Yeah, but they're not paid depending on popularity, is what I mean. Lol. They are. They are. They get paid more if it gets popular, obviously. Some missteps, so why wouldn't you just say the manga is better unless you're an anime? Alright, we gotta end this fucking thing for the YouTube audience. That was a fun little bonus thing you got at the end. Join the stream if you want to talk shit with us, or if you think someone said some stupid shit in chat. It'll be fun. Come join us. I guess I just say support links in the description below. I'll see you with a review after the chapter comes out. We'll probably have to do it in a PowerPoint form because they can't show the website or the chapter. Thanks.